Yeah, hi, welcome to the channel. So in this video, I will be explaining HTTP action and integration procedures. Yeah, let's get started. So in order to explain HTTP action, I will be using Indian Postal Pin Code API. So this is the API provided by Indian Postal. So if you take this API, so what is the use of this APIs? For your pin code, it will show how many post office branches is there. So let us assume my pin code is 560037. So in my pin code, this many post offices is there. So total 4 is there. If you give different pin code, so there are 17 for this pin code. Similarly, you can give your pin code and it will give all post offices available for that pin code. Okay. So today I will be using this API for demonstrating how HTTP action will work. So let's create a brand new integration procedure. HTTP action examples. Save. Yeah. So I will drag HTTP action here, the structure panel. So if you see configuration for this HTTP action, so basically I want this API. So my API is this one. Here HTTP path. Here you need to provide URL for your API. So this is my API and this API is method is get. So mention HTTP method as get. And you can give some proper meaningful name. Postal callout. So in the response, I will return the result of this callout. I will drag one response action. Optional output response, return only optional output. So here I will just return postal callout. Here I will mention response. Yeah. Till now, what I have did here is I specified HTTP method and what is the URL HTTP path for your API. For my API, this is the URL. So now execute. Here now it is giving success false and unauthorized endpoint. Yeah, there is a concept right in Salesforce. If you want to call external APIs, first you need to register that API under remote site settings. Yeah. So let's go to remote site settings. Remote site settings. So new remote site name you can give postal API and remote site URL. So here you need to specify base URL. Base URL means this is the base URL. You can have after base URL, you can have specific pin codes if you want to know pin code. This is the pin code and maybe some different services also available. Those services specific name will start from here, but this is the base URL. So copy that one and remote site URL and save. Now I have configured my external URL under remote site settings. Now fire one more time, execute. See here, now it's executed successfully, and in the response is given. So I specified response action, right? Response action, I specified here output of callout, postal callout. This postal callout is nothing but name of this HTTP action element name. So it's given for particular pin code, it's given available post offices. So if you see execution sequence, HTTP action executed and response action executed. But if you see debug response pool, take this one. Language JSON. Response, if you check here full data JSON, response is nothing but whatever I'm returning from this integration procedure. I'm returning this, right? Under this is the key called response. So this by default, what and all you are returning, those will come under this node response, and this response I provided. So forgot about this response, and the remaining you see here postal call out. This is our HTTP action. Status is equal to true means that call out executed successfully, and info. So for HTTP action, you can have three information here. What is the status? This is the status. This is the response, and this is the info. So in real time, this node will be important. This node will give whether your HTTP action is success or not. By default, your name, your postal call out HTTP action name depended with info. Postal call out info and status code is equal to 100 means it's success. If it is fail, then it will give status code fail some different 500 or 400. Status, and this is your HTTP action name, and this is info. These three are important. And if you see a response action debug, response action, and if you see here debug log, this is the postal call out. This is the URL. This debug log, as of now, this it's executed one time. Now, if we go here, now I specified HTTP path here, but I'm not using named credential. There is named credential concept also, right? Let's try that one. If you use named credential, no need to specify your external API in the remote site settings. First, I will delete this one from here. So if I delete again, it will give same error. Execute unauthorized endpoint. Now I will specify named credential. So let's create new one by using legacy. Label will be, I will use postal named cred. And here also you need to enter your base URL. So this is my base URL. So don't give slash here, just till here, postal pin code in. And this is a publicly available API, no authentication required. So everyone can use this API. So identity type will be anonymous, authentication protocol, no authentication required. Keep everything as it is. Save. Now this is my named credential name. Let's use that named credential inside HTTP action. So now I am using named credential. So I will remove this HTTP path. So this is my named credential name. This named credential will hold only your base URL till your base URL. But for this API, this also required pin code and your pin code. So those information you can specify here HTTP path. So named credential, you can specify named credential name. This will contain only base URL. After base URL, I'm having this also, right? In the URL pin code, your pin code. This you can specify under HTTP path. So specify slash here. Why? Because slash in the named credential, I given remote base URL till here. So HTTP path, you need to start from slash. So slash, same, I will use this pin code. Now it will form my complete URL. This is the named credential name and the remaining URL details here. Now let's execute. So instead of same, I will use different pin code 560037. Execute. It's India, Karnataka, and four post offices is there. If you take again this debug response full and investigate what and all details coming here. So this is response. Forgot about this one. This is postal callout. Status info. Options. Response action 1 postal callout. If you see here input for your postal callout debug, HTTP endpoint. If you specify endpoint by using named credential, see behind the scene it will use callout colon postal your named credential name. After that remaining URL. In the debug you can see what is the input you are sending for your HTTP action. And if you see here debug log, again it's executed once postal callout. So if you use named credential will hold base URL and the remaining details you can specify here. Otherwise, you can specify remaining details directly here also. Now I specified directly here under named credential. And now let's execute. This time I will use different. Review, execute. Last call, it's shown 4 post offices. Now it's 17 post offices. If you see again full details, executed once, debug log will specify how many times this call out executed. One time. Response postal similar info. If you see here debug again same, there is no difference endpoint. Yeah. Now this is the basic configuration. You can specify for my scenario I'm using get method, but for you can use other methods also. Post, put, delete, named credential, HTTP path, and the rest options. So you can pass here some query parameters. How query parameters? So this is my URL, right? So if you pass any query parameters will start question mark. And you can pass as many as query parameters. Let's say I want one query parameter. Query param 1. This is key and this is value. Now go to preview, execute. If we take full response, postal callout debug, if you see here under endpoint, now whatever is specified query parameters, those are coming here. It will come, it will append to your URL by question mark. This is query parameters. If you want to send some headers, you can do that as well. So headers you can pass here, headers, header 1, header 1 value. These headers will show under here. Shit. Specify these headers. Now let's preview. See here headers, and these are query parameters. As of now, this query, this pin code I have hard coded. If you want, you can pass a dynamic value as well. So you can pass that value here, pin code, and 560037. And this value you can specify here by using merge field syntax. Instead of static value, you can specify dynamic value like this, pin code. Execute. Illegal character, Postgres pin code slash pin code. Sorry, key will be same. This is the key. Wait, what is happening here? Pin code slash pin code. Sorry, merge field syntax, right? This is not merge field syntax. You have to use this one. Now it will work. Success false. Illegal character. Now see it's working. For this 4, if you want different pin code, you can specify here. Execute. See, number of pin codes found 17. So in this way, you can pass dynamic value as well. Then headers, query parameters you can pass. If it is a post method, you can pass, you can check this send body. That body you can send either here or send JSON path. But I don't find any publicly available URL that supports post method. Somehow I found this postal API URL for get, so I'm explaining this one here. And this timeout. This timeout specify how many minutes your integration procedure should wait to get response from external API. So currently it is 0 showing. So from here integration procedure, I'm calling this API, right? Suppose if this API taking too much time for execution, then if you specify some value in millisecond, then your integration procedure will wait this many milliseconds. In that specified milliseconds, if your API is not giving response, then your integration procedure will fail. This HTTP callout will fail by telling timed out. Timeout 0 means currently we are not specified any value here. If you're not specifying any value, then by default value is 2 minutes. It will wait 2 minutes before timed out. Here 0 means this is by default value 0 they given. If we remove this one, yeah, if you put 0 or remove, then it will default value 2 minutes it will take. So let us assume I will put 1 here, 1 millisecond. 1 millisecond means it's very negligible. It will complete fraction. So, but this API, it will take at least some seconds to give response. But here we are telling fraction of seconds, this API should give response, but that will not happen. So in this case, what will happen? Let's execute. See here, read timed out. So I specified very minute here. In that minute seconds, this API is not giving response. So this HTTP callout failed by telling read timed out. Whenever it's read timed out, let's see what and all details we are getting here. So response success false, read timed out. Debug. For timed out, it is not giving info node. And this and all. See here, debug log. It's executed and its exception got. That exception it is telling here. So this is the use for timeout. If you not specified any value or 0, by default, it is 2 minutes. If you specify 0, if you specify 0 means I'm not specifying 0 milliseconds, but if you specify 0, it will take default configuration. If I give 2 milliseconds, again it will fail. Yeah, read timed out. Read timed out. Delete. Here it is executed one time and exception it is showing here. So this is one and retry count. Suppose whenever your HTTP action fails, then you can specify retry count. If it fails, if I specify retry count to 2, if I specify retry count 2, that means it will retry 2 times. It will retry two times automatically. So now I specified retry count 2. Go to preview, execute. Again it's failed. Now I want to know whether it's retried or not. If you delete this one, if you see here, now in the debug log, this one will come as it is for first time. And the remaining 2 times, again it is executed 2 times because I specified retry count is equal to 2. That means 2 times again it's failed, but 2 times we got same response. Suppose if I specify retry count 3 here, let's say 4, it will retry 4 times. That means total 5 debug log statements should be there. Yeah, total this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is initial. So this is the use of timeout and retry count. This and all remaining as it is. If you want to for fetch or post methods, you need to send some body input. Those body you can specify send only additional input, or you can send by using this path. Yeah. Yeah, I got something, you got some information from this video. So this video will cover all basic to advanced. So in interview, if they ask HTTP action, you can tell all this. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for watching.